Hello everyone, let's start with the problem number 2894, which is from leetcode, and the problem name is divisible and non-divisible sum differences. So yeah, let's understand the problem, and it is easy type problem only, so it will be not that hard. So they are saying you are given positive integers n and m. So they have given two positive integers n and m. Define two integers as follows. So we'll have to define two integers num1 and num2, and num1, how can we define it? It is saying the sum of all integers in the range 1 to n. Okay, num1 has to be defined as the sum of all integers in the range 1 to n, but they have given some condition, both inclusive. Okay, so 1 and n both are inclusive, that are not divisible by m. So okay, I got it what they're saying. So we'll have to define num1 as the sum of all integers in the range 1 to n both are included, 1 and n, and numbers in 1 to n has to be not divisible by n. So those numbers sum has to be put as num1. And if you see in num2, the sum of all integers in the range 1 to n both inclusive that are divisible by m. Okay, so the number which are not divisible by m has to be summed with num1, and the number which are divisible by m has to be summed with number2, and at the end we have to return the num1 minus num2. So yeah, it is easy only. So let's understand some of the examples. So first example is n is equal to 10, m is equal to 3. So if you try to write like this, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, so it is in the range from 1 to n. Okay, and we'll have to define num1 as num1 equals to sum of all integers within the range 1 to n, which is basically 1 to 10, both are inclusive, which are not divisible by 3. So if you see the number 3, this is divisible by 3, and number 6, this is divisible by 3, and the number 9, this is divisible by 3. But the numbers which are not divisible by 3 is 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6. 6 is divisible by 3, so we'll have to not take that. 7 plus 8. Okay, and after 8, 9 is divisible by 3, so that will have to not take, plus 10. And num2 is basically the numbers in the range 1 to n, basically 1 to 10, and the number divisible by 3, divisible by m. So 3 is divisible by 3, plus if you see here 6 is divisible by 3, 9 is divisible by 3. So if you sum up, so this value comes to be this is actually 37. And if you see this one, this is basically 9 plus 18. So if you subtract num1 minus num2, that will give answer as 19, which is written here. So I think pretty much you got what is problem statement. So let's try to solve this. So let's take two integers, num1 equals to 0, num2 equals to 0. Both has to be initialized to 0 first. Now we'll take one loop int, let's call num, which has to be from 1 to n equals to n, and nums plus plus. Now in this, what we'll do is we'll check if num modulo m equals to 0, which means the number is perfectly divisible by m. So the numbers which are divisible by m has to be summed into num2. So we'll have to put it here this way, num2 plus equals to num. Else if num modulo m is not equal to 0, which means it has a remainder and it is not divisible by n, so that has to be put into num1. So num1 plus equals to num, and at the end we need to return, they're saying num1 minus num2, num1 minus num2. So yeah, let's try to run the code. It is running fine. Now let's try to submit the code. Yeah, it got submitted, and it is 100% accepted. So let's try to analyze the time complexity of this algorithm. So they have given n and m are in the range from 1 to 1000. So basically if you see this loop is running from 1 to n, so basically this it is O of n, time complexity is O of n, and space complexity, if you see, we are not using any extra space, we are using just variables, so it is O of 1. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching my video.